Hello everyone, it's Pink Spinella here, and today I'm going to be teaching you all how to turn this into this. Well, not really. You can't exactly change items in the game, but you all have shown me tremendous support on all my item edit videos and posts, so due to popular demand, this video is going to be all about how to make your own item edits for AnimalJam, or just kind of edit anything using any art app that you can find. Alrighty, so to start off, I'm going to be using the app known as Procreate. This is a paid-for app and it is only able to be used on tablets or iPads. You're able to use other apps such as Ibis Paint. That one is free, it just has a limited selection of free pens to use, but that app has the same effects that I'm going to be using for this video. So any art app that has the correct effects that will be shown here in a moment will work perfectly. Now, you all might be wondering why there are two different color variants of the tiara on here. The tiara is just going to be like an example item. Of course, you can edit any item that you'd like, but I chose the tiaras because it has a lot of color variants, and I wanted to show a light and a dark one just because some of these effects have very different outcomes based off of the base color that you use, aka the color of the item that you're editing to begin with. It just kind of can end up being different than you'd expect, so I'm just showing two different examples to kind of show how you can play around with the effects and get different results. Alrighty, so to start off, we're just going to have these two items on two separate layers. It doesn't really matter, but what you will need to do is create a new layer for the color that you want to add onto it. So you just go into the layers area, and make sure you have a nice brush selected too. You can use whatever brushes. I have a custom one, but the marker ones are also pretty good for this. Just anything large enough that'll cover the items pretty quickly. So then you go into your layers, you make a new one. You can either clipping mask it or just leave it as is. But I usually clipping mask just to make sure it stays on the item and just the item. As you can see, I have a clipping mask on here, and if I take it off, then the color just goes all over the place. So clipping mask just makes it look a little neater, especially if you want to use the asset for something. So yeah, choose any color you want. I'm just going to choose a light green for this one, just to show a nice different color to contrast the tiara colors that I chose earlier. And then we're just going to press on that N on the layer that has the colors. So the layer that's clipping masked, we're going to press the N there. The N stands for normal, that's just where it's default set. But you can scroll through these effects and it gives you different looks of the items just based off of the color that you put over top. So let's go through some of those just to show you guys how they look. So as you can see, they're kind of different. The darker one doesn't change as much for some, but then others, ooh, this looks nice. Some of the colors, some of the effects do different things than others. I really suggest to just play around with it to see what different colors do different things to different items. But as you can see, the same color does different things on two different base colors, as an example from what I was mentioning before, because obviously the right one is different than the left, even though we use the same exact color. But yeah, you can just scroll through a lot of them. Mostly, if you want the color to be the color that you overlaid, I suggest the overlay option, the saturation option, or the color option. Those are usually the ones that make the most accurate color in terms of the choice you made. But as you can see, these different colors do different things to these items. Again, I'll show through here, and yeah, so that's pretty much how you change the color of the items. That's how you get the clipping mask, and this clipping mask stuff is all on Ibis Paint and other art applications as well, so it should be able to be done for most applications, and it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is just make sure that color is there, and if you want to download the asset, you gotta make sure you have a transparent background as well. Alright, now I'm going to go through an example of like what a solid item looks like with these effects versus a non-solid item. So if you're wanting to make things like, for example, the contest item edits that I've made before, I used previous or other like magenta items that have a solid variant to make those, just because it's much easier than individually like changing each part. But as you can see, the furry hat that was originally just magenta is a much more solid color compared to the normal furry hat. So it just depends on what kind of result you're wanting. It's much easier to get a solid item from a previous solid item just because the effects change the color. It is possible to get a solid color from the items without solid variants. So sometimes it takes a little tweaking to kind of get through. I sometimes like overlay a couple of layers of clipping mask effects and things like that. But overall, just having the easier ability to have a previous solid item just to change the color makes things a whole lot easier. But yeah, so this is how you guys edit AnimalJam items. You can honestly edit whatever you'd like with this, to be honest. I mean, there's just neat little effects. You can play around with them. Some of them are really weird. Some of them looks really cool. And some of them are just pretty useful in terms of changing colors of items. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this was helpful for you all. I'm honestly really excited to see any edits you guys make from this tutorial, because I know a lot of you guys were really interested in learning how I do it, and I'm so happy that you guys enjoy those posts as well. It really makes my day to see you guys so excited about these concepts of items and everything, and I'm just super stoked to see you guys loving it. Let me know if you guys have any edits you've made after this as a result, or just any edits in general. I'd love to see them. Alrighty, thank you so much, and good luck editing. Bye bye.